Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and it's the end of the year, so I figured why not shoot a video about Doctor Who. Yeah, not entirely sure why I did that, but I just like this little TARDIS thing that you probably saw from my Christmas haul video. Okay, but all right, back to Doctor Who. Okay, pretty much, Doctor Who, one of my favorite TV shows. I've really enjoyed it. First thing I'm going to talk about Doctor Who wise is comics. Pretty much all of the Doctor Who comics are published by IDW, and this year they had a series which was a crossover between with Star Trek: The Next Generation, where pretty much the 11th Doctor, Amy and Rory get somehow the dimensions of the Doctor Who universe and the Star Trek universe crossed over, and they met up, and the TARDIS trio pretty much met up with the crew of the New Enterprise. And the conclusion of this series, issue 8, which was the final issue, I didn't review it in my weekly review because I was saving it for this video. So, pretty much what happens in the final issue is that the Enterprise attacks the main cyber ship with a gold-infused particle beam, because gold is the Cybermen's weakness, and that's something that they were able to exploit. And while the Enterprise attacks, the Doctor and Data restore the executive Borg protocols within the Cybermen Borg hybrids, because the Cybermen teamed up with the Borg for the story arc, and that triggered the cyber ship self-destruct sequence. So our heroes return to the TARDIS, where one of the Borg attempts to assimilate with the actual TARDIS console, but Data is able to save the TARDIS consciousness, since the TARDIS is technically a living being, by keeping it inside him, and which surprisingly he's able to do. And Rory and Commander Worf throw the Borg that was in the TARDIS into the time vortex itself, and so the TARDIS returns back to the Enterprise. Everyone says goodbye to each other, and the TARDIS trio get back in their ship, and they return to their own universe. And the last page shows the Borg, pretty much with this new knowledge of a new race called the Time Lords, because of the Doctor. That's the Doctor's race. They've now decided to investigate time travel. All right, all in all, I can say this is a good series. I mean, it really was, and basically they had two enemies here. For the Star Trek: The Next Generation, it was the Borg, and for Doctor Who, Cybermen. And I think having those two cybernetic enemies together just kind of it makes you wonder, why don't they team up and work together? So that just kind of gave them an excuse of how these two teams could get together. But watching the Doctor and the crew of the Enterprise was amazing. I would definitely recommend this series not only to Doctor Who fans, but also to fans of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And I'm really glad that the Cybermen were featured in this series, because for the second half of Series 7, which will air in the spring, will feature some new design work for the Cybermen, and apparently the episode will be written by Neil Gaiman. So that's going to be great. I can't wait for that. But back to the main point, the Star Trek Doctor Who Assimilation series, very nice, highly recommend it. You should go pick it up. I mean, the trade should be out in a few months. I don't have the exact date, but if you didn't get the series, you should probably just wait for the trade to come out. Okay. Also, one other comic series that I'm probably going to try out, because this year will be the 50th anniversary in honor of Doctor Who's 50th anniversary. IDW is going to release a series called Doctor Who: Prisoners of Time, and it's going to be, I believe, 12 issues, it's going to be at least 11 issues, because each issue will feature a different Doctor, like issue 1, the first Doctor, issue 2, the second Doctor, issue 3, you see where I'm going with this, And I think that's gonna be awesome. If it's gonna be a series with all the Doctors, and if it leads up to an all Doctor to like the 11th Doctor's team up, that would be amazing too. And I look forward to that series a lot. The first issue is gonna come out in January. I have it on my pull list, so don't worry, everyone. I should be able to get it. Okay, and enough of the comic books. Let's focus on the Doctor Who TV series. This year, they decided to air the first half of Series 7 in the fall. Interesting choice, but hey, it worked. My favorite episode, I think, of Series 7 was probably... it was a hard choice, but I liked I'm going to go with Asylum of the Daleks, because I like the Daleks. They're one of my favorite monsters, and I really liked how they pretty much couldn't kill the Daleks that were... Because basically the plot is that the Daleks have summoned the Doctor, Amy, and Rory to a planet where they keep the Daleks that are too insane. And apparently they can't kill them, so they want to send in the Doctor. So they have the Doctor send in, since he's pretty much the Daleks' ultimate enemy. And the Doctor... Well, technically, in order to get to work, though, they have to send the Doctor in so he could shut down this force field that's surrounding the planet, so that the Daleks can pretty much just launch a planet-destroying missile. And it was just really funny. And it was a great pickup for the start of the series, because if you saw the web series that aired before, that was online before this, called Pond Life, you'll know that things were different between Amy and Rory, because they were getting a divorce, because they were divorced at the beginning of the episode, and I was like, wait, what the hell happened? It was just, wow. I mean, and we also learned that Amy can no longer bear children because of what happened to Demon's Run. Very sad, but it also, Amy and Roy did get back together at the end of the episode, so all's well. That ended well. And also we got a little teaser about Jenna Louise Coleman, who's the new companion. We kind of got a tease about her character in this by apparently she was a human that was fully converted into a Dalek. And she survived most of it because she believed herself to be human, but it turns out she was really a Dalek. It's just a very great episode. I mean, Series 7, the first half of Series 7 had to be good because these were going to be the final episodes featuring Amy and Rory. Which, brings me to another category I like to talk about, my favorite individual moments of the series. I think one of my favorite... Again, I pretty much had two overall favorite moments. One was in the episode The Power of Three, which introduced the Brigadier's daughter, Kate Stewart. Unfortunately, the actor who played Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, Nicholas Courtry, he's no longer with us. He passed away last year, and since we can't have the Brigadier anymore, they pretty much introduced his daughter as another person in charge of unit, and that was just very nice. And again, another homage to the character. I mean, they also paid tribute to him by going with the episode The Wedding of River Song, when the Doctor tries to contact the Brigadier, but when he gets calls, they tell him that the Brigadier passed away, and that was one of my favorite scenes from Series 6. So, introducing the Brig's daughter, that was another favorite moment I liked in Series 7. But the other moment that did stand out for me was when the Angels Take Manhattan, and that was the final scene with Amy and Rory. When right before... Okay, I'm going to say this, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the episode about when Amy and Rory leave, you should probably stop watching this and go watch it, because it's a very episode, and it is a pretty heartbreaking ending. What happens is, they have an adventure with the Weeping Angels, and they are able to escape them and nearly get back to the TARDIS in time, but then, unfortunately, one of the angels gets Rory and sends him back in time to... who knows where, because Rory saw his name on a tombstone, and he was a little shocked by it. And so the angels pretty much sent him back in time, and now Amy was really scared, and so she figured if she got touched by the same angel, then she'd get sent back to where Roy was. And the doctor says that if she does this, then her life will officially be fixed, and he can't see her ever again. And it's very heartbreaking for what happened. And it's pretty sad because Amy's there, so's River Song, and so's the doctor, and Amy does let the angel take her, and she is able to be with Roy, and they have a long and happy life. But unfortunately, the doctor, he basically can't see them anymore. It's kind of like pretty much their lives became fixed points. I mean, before the angels, the doctor was pretty much going in and out of their lives, and now he can't see them anymore because, well, now everything in their life is fixed, and he doesn't exactly know where they wound up. So he didn't know exactly where they were, so he's just kind of, so he can't see them anymore, which is sad. And I did almost cry I almost cried when, as soon as Amy was just disappeared, I almost cried. It was, and I liked Amy. She was my second favorite companion. She was brilliant, and now she's gone. I'm definitely gonna miss Amelia Pond, and by association Roy too, because Roy was awesome. Well, but in light of the way the first half ended, there's also some good stuff, which brings me to the Christmas special this year, The Snowmen. This was the first appearance of, pretty much the first official appearance of Jenny Louise Coleman as the new companion, Clara. And the Christmas special itself, The Snowmen, it was awesome. It really was. I mean, it kind of opens up it pretty much opens up with the doctor. He's pretty much depressed and says he's retired. He's no longer traveling the universe. He's just stuck in Victoria. He's pretty much just staying in Victoria, England, and not doing anything. Doesn't really do anything for the war to help people anymore. I mean, Madame Vastra and Jenny Madame Vastra and Jenny, who appeared in the Battle of Demons Run, they try to talk to him, get him out of his funk, but he's not willing to do it. But then this girl, Clara, she comes along and she notices something weird is going on with these snowmen around town, and she's ultimately able to help Vastra and Jenny get the doctor back in the game, and he's able to tie on his bow tie, grab his screwdriver, and save the day. But spoiler alert, Clara does die, but the doctor is able to figure out throughout the episode that she's also the same girl he met in the Asylum of the Daleks. And so basically he figures out, wait, she can't. So basically he's just wait, if she died and came back, then she could probably do it again. So now the special pretty much ended with the doctor trying to find Clara, which is great, and the character Clara herself, I really did like Clara, though. Seems like a good replacement for Amy because she's fun, feisty, flirty. Oh, man, she is great. I mean, if you were skeptical about a new companion, and who can blame you? Amy was great, but watch The Snowmen and you'll enjoy it, especially the chemistry between Jen Louise Coleman and Matt Smith. It's really great. They really do have great on-screen chemistry, and it's really amazing when you see this. Also, a side note: the enemy, the Great Intelligence, returns, and in this Christmas special, the Great Intelligence is voiced by Magneto. That's right, Sir Ian McKellen is voicing the Great Intelligence. I didn't find that out until after the special, and I was just reading the online summary just to make sure to just kind of refresh myself for recapping this, and I looked under the cast list and it said Ian McKellen, and I'm like, wait, is that and I click it, I'm like, oh man, that's Magneto. So yeah, that was very nice. Pretty much first half of Series 7, Snowman, all amazing. Stephen Moffat is doing a great job on Doctor Who. I cannot wait for the second half of Series 7 and just see what happens next, especially with Clara and everything. It's going to be... I can tell you this right now. We've got a new companion. Things aren't going to be the same, but they're still going to be awesome. I can tell you that. That's all I can say about what's going to happen. That's all I can say about what's going to happen on Doctor Who right now. Okay, so can't wait for the second half of Series 7. Can't wait for the Prisoners of Time comic series. So 2013, it's going to be a big year for Doctor Who. I'm going to love it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.